Hi and welcome. I'm psychologist Mamta Saha, and today I am so excited to introduce you to my special guest, Harnaam Kaur, who is a motivational speaker and a positive influencer. She's traveled the world talking about her authenticity and loving yourself just as you are. Not only has she done this, she's been on the front cover of Parallel Magazine, Glamour UK, Cosmo India, and recently she was featured in Vogue Japan. She is bold, brilliant, and simply beautiful. Today we're going to talk about Harnaam's journey on self-discovery and lots more, so sit back and enjoy this video. So Harnaam, tell me, how have the various communities reacted to your Cosmo front page?
I find it really funny because I was going through my notifications early this morning, and there were a lot of people with my skin complexion, like South Asians, etc., like just spewing so much hate. And then I would scroll down and I'll get like really lovely comments from like people that are not of my community, like saying this is so beautiful, this is so powerful. And it was my community, or like South Asians, that were posting like the most degrading, the most embarrassing like comments that I felt ashamed to read. So I just find it like there's still so much progression needs to happen in like South Asian communities that has happened in other communities. But also just shows how narrow-minded sometimes some people can be. I mean, obviously, like not all of the community like this. There's obviously like a select percentage. But it would be nice to, have the support. But again, this is just the world and the reality I live in. Like, your own won't celebrate you as much as other people will.
I think as a community, we need to recognize that when we give out this negativity, then we make all of us look bad, and we don't do ourselves any favors. And I think if we're trying to stop racism in this world, we need to think about our behavior and our actions. Everything's on a public forum.
We discriminate against each other, to be honest. And it's quite disheartening, because I remember being out in London one day and there was a huge like Sikh procession. I didn't know it was happening. I just went out to London because I had another magazine shoot to do, and I just came across like people from sort of my community, and I realized what that march was for. And I was like, okay, you know what's going to happen here. Just keep walking past them. And there was like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. And I had to sort of get from one place to the other. So I thought, okay, instead of going through, just go around. And I was with a group, and, they were white. Let's just be honest, they were white. And the taunts and the jeers that I got from people, swearing at me, and, just the shit that, the community was like just shouting at me that day. And it's like, my friends were like, oh, but I thought the religion was peaceful and loving. I said, well, this is the other side of it that you just got to see firsthand. I'm not lying to you when I tell you that I get a lot of rubbish from them. Like, now you've seen it firsthand, and it shocked them. So we're trying to portray, or people are trying to portray a certain religion or a certain culture in a positive light. But when you act up and you show your true colors or whatever, like, people are going to be like, oh, this shocked me. My friends were shocked because I had to translate to them exactly what they were saying. I said, I'm not going to hide this from you, because you're seeing firsthand what's happening to me, and it happens to me daily, and it's happening to me. It's happened to me for years and years and years, and it's going to carry on happening to me. So let me translate to you what they're saying to me right now, and you can make an opinion.
It just takes away all of the good work that the community do. All the charity work, all the seva, all the food cooking for the NHS, all of that hard work goes out of the window.
And it's amazing what they do. And I just think, sometimes, again, like, negativity is so powerful. Let's not forget that, because you can get 100 positive comments. That one negative comment is going to stick with you.
Yes.
Negativity is so powerful. Like, look at the state that this world is in right now. It's so full of ego. There's lack of humility. People don't care about each other. So much discrimination. I'm me and you are you, but I'm bigger than you. Like, that's what's happening. I'm far more superior than you. Like, it's disgusting. And I don't even know where to go from here. But I think, again, it's all that self-progression that people need to do, and the community is amazing. Like, I'm not going to downplay what the community does, like the Open Lunga Seva that they do. Again, like you mentioned, like, it's amazing. Like, what a community does that? Come on, let's be real. How many homeless does Harmandir Sahib feed? Tens of thousands every day. What other culture does that? No other culture does that. Come on, let's be honest. Let's be honest. No, it's that. That is what I put my hands up to. That is what I cherish. That is what I put in my heart, and that's what I try to focus on over everything else.
And that's the best attitude. And Harnaam, in your own way, you're doing your seva. You're teaching people to love themselves and be strong from within themselves and who they are. And I think that is a gift that you are giving the world. And sometimes people struggle with the truth because the truth hurts. But that is not your responsibility. That's theirs. So hopefully, slowly things will start shifting. But you've got to carry on the plight, and you've got to carry on sending your message, because nothing's going to change if we give up, right?
Of course, someone's got to do it, and apparently it's me that has
you,
to.
Baby.
Like, the universe is crazy. It's me, and you know what? I'm happy. Like, I'm happy. Like, regardless of like where my mental health takes me, the downfalls, the pitfalls, the the dark mental state that I go through. Like, I'm happy. Like, I'm here to do what I'm here to do, and I've got support of people that actually matter. And I'm just going to carry on making a change, and people need to be, you can either join me, you can sit back and watch,
You
can sit back and watch.
You can be on the bus or you can be off the bus. But if you're on the bus, it's going to be a party bus. And if you're off, then it's your loss.
Like, I think before, the whole validation thing, I would do certain things to get validation of people, whether it was talking to, I remember, especially with guys that I used to find really attractive. I used to speak to them, and then once I know that they wanted me as well, I would just back up, like, he wants me now, so forget about it, sort of thing. And that was all part of me wanting that validation from someone else, to feel wanted, to be needed, to feel loved by someone. And I think now, like, with my attitude, like, it's really funny because I keep telling my manager, like, I'm actually not a nice person.
Why do you say that?
Because I was like, do you know what, like, I love my job. I love, when it comes to events and things like that, I'm in it. I love meeting people, and talking to them. But when I'm home, I'm so grumpy.
Aren't we all?
Like, I do not want to do anything. I don't want to talk to anyone. Like I don't give a shit. Like, I just want to have a liter of Ben and Jerry's ice cream, and that's what I want, and a nice bath. That doesn't make me not a nice person, but do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, we all have our moods. Like, when I'm out there, like, I love being out there. Like, when I'm at home, I just love being at home. Like, please, no one bother me, because it takes a lot out of you.
Of course.
When I get a lot of and it's a part of my job, and I'm very grateful for it, and I know it comes with what I do, but sometimes when I'm struggling with my own things, and and I have, I struggle with, like, really bad mental health days as well, and then I have to go out, and then it's having to take on other people and what they're going through, and knowing that in some way I connect to that, because that's what I went through as well, whether it's bullying or body shaming or cultural shame or misogyny or bullying or bigotry, whatever it is, being made to feel ashamed for the way that you look, and it triggers me to remember my past.
It's always brought to the forefront, I guess, and that is tiring, because you've done so much work, clearly, to graciously move forward from that. But I guess naturally your work and what it enables in others reminds you and takes you back to it.
So that's why when I'm at home, I'm just like, just want to
Yeah,
zone out for a
of
little bit, you
course.
know. That's why
Yeah,
I prioritize like self-care a lot
you
more.
must
Like
do.
before, you know, before I used to talk about self-love, and I'm
Mm,
just like, I can't be bothered
no.
to keep talking about self-love because it's not the be all and end all.
Yes,
You know,
yes,
like people go through decades of abuse. Like
yes.
how it's so unfair for me to be
Mm,
like, oh, just love yourself, it's fine. Like it's
mm,
not that easy. You
no,
know, some
no.
people can't just wake up one day after decades of abuse or torment or whatever they've gone through and say, oh, I'm going to listen to her Nam now because she told me to love myself. Like,
Of
it doesn't work
course.
that
No.
way. Like, you need to start doing things that make you happy daily and sort
Mm,
of build on that and take care of yourself. And I think, you know, be kind, and
mm,
that's what we need to prioritize and build on over self-love. Like, you know, that will come, you know,
mm,
just by you
mm.
being kind to yourself, because
Yes,
that will then build on to you not giving a shit about what people think and their
yes.
opinions. Again, you know, you're being kind to who you are, you value
Mm,
yourself, you know, and
mm.
that will all then amount to you loving yourself. But
Yes.
it's just something that you can do, you know, just at the start. It's a huge journey.
Yeah, and even in the midst of that journey, when you feel like you're doing well, something could happen, and then you could just be taken back there, and then you have to rebuild. And maybe it's not as painful as it was before the first time you rebuilt, but there's an element of pain that you need to address that you might not have addressed. And it is like
Exactly.
a Ferris wheel, isn't it? And it's just kind of goes up and down, and that's the reality of it. But I think people,
Exactly.
there's and I wanted to say to you that obviously people are going to be looking at you now, like you have a massive following, you're on the front cover of Cosmo India, people know you, you've been featured in movies, like, you're very well known, you've got fantastic brands behind you. However, I think it's very easy to overlook the days of um, suffering, pain, being
Thank you.
alone, that, sorry, I'm
Mhm.
taking you back there, but that got you
No,
there. And
it's true.
that is super important, because very easy to say, oh, and be a little bit envious. But I think that as a society and as a generation, like a social media generation, I think we need to get with the program and understand that it doesn't happen overnight. So I want to know
Oh
from
gosh,
you, Harnaam, do you prefer Harnaam or Harnam?
Harnaam.
Harnaam. So
Yeah.
I want to hear from you, Harnaam. What were the vital ingredients for you? Because obviously I met you at the BBC panel. That was 4 years ago when I was pregnant with my third.
Oh my
Yeah,
god, like that was so long ago
that
now.
was. But I had, obviously, when the stuff happened at the airport, I think it was, right? You were in the queue at the airport. Was it the airport or
Oh,
some
in Vienna, and they were like looking
Vienna?
for bombs in my turban
Was it
and
that, or
drugs.
someone had tweeted and you had responded with such love? And I think,
Do you know what? People always confuse me for Balpreet God. She's from like, is it Canada or something?
oh,
That's
was
what
that not
happened.
you?
No, that wasn't me. People
Oh, I'm
keep
sorry, darling.
for
So, but I know that before the BBC thing, there was a real journey that got you to even so young and being on that panel and then being an ambassador for Lush, etc. What would you say were the vital ingredients and stepping stones that you had to take, good, bad, and ugly, that you feel have got you to and I'm not even talking about an aesthetic level of kind of
Mhm.
feeling good, mental state of being like, you know what, I'm good.
Well, it was, you know, realizing that like I had to stop feeling sorry for myself. Like this world isn't going to give
Mm.
me the apology that people need to give me
That you're
for the
owed.
amount me through, you
Mm,
know, like this world does not owe me anything. And it was that to know
mm,
that it was also to live by my body, my rules, because
mm,
that's just me. Like I'm not gonna
mm,
change who I am just because someone doesn't like me. Like people don't
mm.
like themselves. You know what I'm trying to
Yes,
say? Like
totally.
we're so disconnected to who we are as people. Of course we're gonna be disconnected to other people and we're gonna
Yes,
hate, you
yes.
know. So it was, you know, learning that it's
Mm,
my body so I can do what the hell I want with it.
yeah.
You know, realizing that other people's opinions again should not matter to me and they don't. And it was always having to again, just fight for my right,
Yeah.
forget about me fighting for other people's right just yet, because that comes
Yes.
later. It
Yes.
was me having to fight for my right to live like
Mm,
this.
mm,
Like, I can't help anyone else until I make some sort of space in this world for me, you
yes.
know?
Yes, totally.
Then my table, I can
Mm,
build it longer, other people can join. But until I create some sort of platform, I can't help other people.
yeah. Yeah.
It was that sort of mentality that I had, like, you'll be doing yourself an injustice by, by keeping your mouth shut, or, you'll be doing the
Mm,
society an injustice by not speaking about all the hurdles and hardships that you've gone through. Because
mm,
as a young girl who's going through puberty, or a young boy who's having body image issues, and they're going to struggle like you did, but because you're so scared of how the world might react to you, you're going to keep
mm,
that. Well,
mm,
Harnaam, let me tell you, you've gone through shit and shit again. Like,
yes.
girl, I know you're strong enough. I know you're
Yes.
strong enough to keep carrying on. And that's the thing, like, since my Cosmo cover it was published yesterday,
Yeah.
and it's just astonishing the amount of judgment that I got,
Oh,
you know?
really? Wow. Like what kind of, I mean, maybe I live in a cocoon of bubble of optimism and happiness, because when I
Yeah,
saw
I
it,
love
my reactions on every opportunity, I was like, whoa, and I messaged Queenie, DJ Queen, and I was so proud of all you, because I think not that I'm there, but I recognize the struggle, and I know it, and I feel it as a psychologist, and I felt it when I met you, and I hear it in the messages that you give, regardless of my profession.
yeah,
It's very evident.
yeah.
I think people don't listen and pay attention, and they are
I
so
don't.
super fast to judge. What do you want to say to all of those people that judge
I want to
you
say
on
fuck
this
you.
accolade? Yeah, of
I
course.
want to. That's what I want to say. I want to say fuck you, but it's like it's the judgment. Like, I think what triggers me more is
Mm,
when women hate on women.
I know.
Oh, don't come
So
at
sad.
me because I've got a bark on me. Trust me. And
Yeah.
it's like, it's really funny because in my
Mm,
comment section, the women will then reply to a guy that sent me like a horrible message and be like, "Say to see, like, whatever
mm.
you've said is right."
Oh, really?
And it's like, hold on a second, why are you trying to please this man by accepting what he said of
Mm,
me? And I was
mm,
talking to another girl, another Punjabi girl, about this as well. Like, she's got her journey is crazy, like
mm,
what she's
mm,
gone through, you know so she and I, we always speak and whatnot, and I was saying to her, I go, it's
mm.
almost like these women want validation from men, right?
Yes.
Know that they're doing the right thing, because when men hate on me, the women join in, and it's like this huge bandwagon of people just hating me. It's like, you wear a turban, and you've got tattoos and piercings
Mm,
and makeup, and oh my god, you shave your legs and you shave your arms, but you
mm,
don't shave your beard. You're a hypocrite. You do your eyebrows. I have not touched my eyebrows since I was 13 years old.
mm.
I do not that I need to explain
Yeah, of
myself,
course.
and not that I
Exactly.
need to justify,
Yeah.
not that I need to justify my body to people,
Yes.
but it's like, you keep coming for me,
Mm,
right? And it's like they don't understand the impact that they're having.
of
Now,
course.
as I don't even call myself a celebrity, as an
Mm,
influencer, as someone that's very prominent on the internet,
mm,
and other celebrities out there as well. You
mm.
hear about them committing suicide
I
over
know. I
again,
know.
different people, and
Yeah.
it's like, you shitheads, you do not
Mm,
understand the impact you're having.
yeah.
Just because the profiles are open and just
Mm,
because they've got millions of followers, you think that you want your 5 minutes of fame to write a shitty comment.
yeah.
Your comments are killing people.
Yes, absolutely. And
Your
I think
comments
it's
are
just an
killing people.
echo of how they're feeling about themselves. And I think that they
They're
clearly
projecting.
are so exactly, they're so distressed amongst themselves that that's how they see the world. They're either all about being aligned to and connected as a community, or the opposite. And unfortunately, um, sometimes good things, and I felt this as well from people close to me in my life. When good things have happened, there's been some criticism, and it may not have
Yeah.
been at that level, but I recognize now the patterns, that you know, unfortunately, all you can do is really just send a lot of love to people in that place, because to call
Yeah.
someone out and then to have a build up on that, calling someone out on something that's not their place to call them out on,
Mm-hmm.
it's just a cry for attention, and it's a cry for help. Actually, it's a damaged sense of self and ego to have to want
Yeah.
to look. I've got a point to make, and you need to hear me. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and you need to check yourself, because how dare you be doing your
Yeah.
eyebrows? No, I don't know you're doing them, and being on this.
I don't do them. I'm just really good with my makeup. That's all it is.
And I think you're absolutely right in that. What is it about women, and particularly Indian, Asian, South Asian, and you know, and I struggled a lot with bullying growing up. You know, I went to a school, and it was really, really tough, and I was bullied for many, many years of my life, and it was all just Indian girls like me. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it really led me to a place where I didn't really talk to a lot of people, and I don't now. I count good friends on a hand, you know, one hand, and that's the best
Yeah.
way, by the way. But
I
it's so
know. Yeah.
sad how you just, from your own society, you know, we're trying to work hard. Clearly, you're working so hard, relentlessly. You know, you travel the world, you pack your bag, you leave your family, you go. You stand, you have
Yeah.
to be there, like you were saying, even on days you don't want to show up, you have to. Because that's the responsibility that you have now, Harnaam, you know? And
Exactly.
even then, to throw stones, it's like, guys, like, what's going on here? We need to support each other as a community.
I don't think, honestly, I'm first of all, I'm sick and tired of talking about my flipping beard, you know.
Yeah.
People
Why are
keep
we even
saying,
talking about it? You know?
because you're putting all that focus on my physical state, and I'm trying to push away from that, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
There's a larger message out there. I'm trying to push away
Exactly.
from that. Stop thinking about, I mean, I understand it's a part of me, it's the first thing you see when you look at
Yeah.
me, you know, people find it weird, I get it, but until we
Mm,
start talking about the wider message that I have,
mm.
right, there's still going to be an issue, because you're still going to judge me on the way that I look, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I think it's amazing. I think it's amazing that, you know,
Mm,
there are companies and businesses and published magazines out there
mm.
that are now starting to give people like me, you know, a space to
Yeah.
be creative. Like that front cover was taken on an iPhone.
Wow. During the last couple of weeks?
Like, I would say 2.5, 3 weeks ago.
Okay. Amazing.
It was taken on an iPhone. And, you know, I just feel like people are so quick to judge
Yeah.
without understanding everything. But
Mm,
again, we're so full of ego as people.
mm,
Why are we
mm,
going to out to listen to someone? And I
mm,
think it's gotten to a point now, like I've been doing this since
mm,
2014, and I
mm.
think it's gotten to a point now where I'm actually going to start answering people's questions
Yeah.
about religion, about my body, and
Mm,
things like I'm actually going to create I was actually talking to Liz today as well, like I
mm.
was like, you know, like, let's do it, we get so much hate,
Yeah.
let's just do it. Like I'm going to
Yeah.
mute the comments on YouTube or whatever, but do you know what, you guys want an answer, well, I'm going to give it to you, and
Yeah.
I'm going to talk to you about the realities of
Yes.
inequality that's in our culture, the
Mm,
misogyny and the bigotry that we have to go through, the
mm.
emotional blackmail, the gaslighting, the
Yes.
way you see women as second class citizens.
Mm,
Mum, it's
mm,
okay for someone like Diljit Dosanjh to
mm,
wear a plug, to talk
mm.
about beggar, to have a kada,
Yes.
to, you know, create a video out there where it's all women that are catering to
Mm,
him. It's
mm.
okay for Jazzy B to wear a Damalla and a Khanda, and sing a Dharmic Geet
Mm,
and get all the money. It's okay for Sukshinda Shinda to do that.
yeah,
It's okay for, what's his name, Dil fucking breathe Dylan, to
yeah,
cheat on his wife, to beat his wife up,
yeah.
and all these people are still supporting him. Why are these people not being
Mm,
cancelled? But
mm,
as soon as someone like me, a
mm,
proud Punjabi woman that's got a beard and a turban, that's of colour,
yeah,
that's very powerful, that is
yeah,
outspoken, unashamedly her, that loves herself, that is empowering other people to do the same, that talks about mental health, that speaks about sexuality, that adds value to people's lives,
mm,
that wants to show you how much you are worth and how powerful you are.
mm.
I want that, people want me to be killed off.
You are the
People are,
future, Harnaam. You are the future. And I think as a society, it's fair to say that we can be quite backwards. And I think
yeah,
it's that mentality, that stuck in the olden day mentality, that is creating our own problems within the community.
yeah,
And I think we need to wake up, smell the coffee,
yeah.
remove ourselves from our ego. I think, in this way, the Western world, I would say, is so much more advanced from a spiritual perspective. You are not your
Uh-huh.
beard. You are not
No.
your eyebrows. I am not
Yeah.
my glasses. We need to get ourselves away. And I think it's this paradigms. It's like religion, all religions, I would say, come back to the fact that we're a soul. Come back to the fact that eventually, we're born and we die, right?
Yeah.
And on this journey, why we invite and inflict pain and suffering on others and also ourselves, I struggle with that. Why
Yeah.
do we do it? And I think it's because we haven't done the work. So I think
Exactly.
as a community, we need to delve into that and think about where is this narrative coming from? Because I think people need to pay attention to the fact that when they are excluding, when they are not listening, when they are judging, they're actually
Yeah.
damaging themselves, because if that narrative is stopping them from progressing.
Yeah.
So we need to really
Exactly.
wake up as a community. It's full of contradictions.
Do you know what it is though? Can I be brutally honest
Mm,
with you? People are not ready to know their true selves.
mm,
People are not ready to peel back those layers and understand themselves fully, because it takes real gut and real strength
it
and real
does.
bravery
Yeah.
and real emotion to do that. Do you know how many times I've sat in my room and I've thought, do you know, who on earth are you, Harnaam?
Mm,
Like, what are
mm,
you? What are you actually? Like,
yes.
what is actually your purpose? And it takes, for
Mm,
me to delve real deep into who I am and uncover all the horridness that I've gone
mm,
through. And so many people go through worse, God bless
mm,
them.
mm.
It takes real strength to do that. People don't want to put in that work.
No, and it is work.
It's hard work and it takes years to know who you
Mm,
are. I
mm,
mean, there's people that are like, in their 50s and their 60s that have come up to me and they're like, we
mm,
have not found our purpose. How are you so young and you understand? I said,
yeah.
it's because I've done a lot of personal growth and I've done a lot of work to understand
Mm,
who I am as a person.
mm,
And that started for me when I left religion, because I
mm,
was so caught up in religion about the do's and the don'ts and
mm,
who I can chill with, who I can't chill with.
mm,
I forgot about loving people. I forgot about loving myself. I forgot about
mm.
loving world and realizing actually we're all just one,
Yes, yes.
whether, regardless of what your sexuality is, what your gender is, what
Mm,
culture,
mm,
whoever you are, and I think once I left religion and I left all the rules and regulations and I delved into like spirituality a lot
mm.
more. Oh my God, Mamta, the freedom that I felt,
Yeah, and the
because
love, I bet, as well.
exactly. We're so
Mm.
cooped up in our little boxes that we forget that there's a wider world out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you just hit the nail on the head. I think for anyone who's listening to this, who wants to go on that journey and you recognize you might have been spiteful or not very nice or judgmental, the first thing you need to ask yourself is, beyond your name, who
Yeah,
are you? Who are
yeah,
you? And then notice your narrative, write it down. We've all got work to do. And I think when you
yeah,
dig deep, and this is the thing I think people need to understand about you, Harnaam, is that strength comes from that work. It wasn't gifted to you on a silver platter, It took a lot of work and it continues to do so. But it's available to everyone. That's the thing,
exactly.
you know?
I'm not charging anyone for
No,
it.
exactly. We're not going to invoice you for watching this, guys. We really should
No.
do, because it's good stuff, by the way.
I know, right?
But I think if people take the time to step away from their egos, that takes a lot, and question and challenge. And I've been thinking a lot about this since the George Floyd thing, and about the racism that
Yeah,
existed in the South Indian community. It's terrible. It's terrible. Not even towards black people, towards white people. It's strife,
exactly.
as you would have experienced. And it's like, what can we do as individuals to start to challenge in a way that's progressive? And I think the first thing is looking at ourselves, really, and then questioning
Yeah,
who we are, and then questioning those around us and deciding what energy do we want to entertain in our lives.
I think once we start looking past our ego, and I think education is so important.
Mm,
Like, how can people not know that there's diversity out there? And I
mm,
see it from a lot of people, especially men from our community, that maybe live in a specific region of
mm,
India, and it's like, I'm not about to bash anyone. I'm not about to bash
mm,
anyone's life and how they were
mm.
raised and things like that,
Yes.
because it's not right for me to do so.
No,
But
no.
you know there's
Mm,
there's people that have not had that education to know that, what, that there's a world beyond the bin that you live in,
yeah.
that there's a whole world. There's like 7 billion plus people out there. You can't expect everyone to be the
Mm,
same.
mm,
You can't. And it's like, I was thinking about it the other day.
mm.
I was like, somehow God, the universe, vibes, energy, whatever,
Yeah.
created the world and the galaxies, this universe,
Mm,
the black holes, the
mm,
Milky Way,
mm,
whatever. And then I was created to be on
mm.
this, and you were created to
Yeah.
be on this. Like, there's a reason for each and every one of us, like, it's not a mistake that we're here.
Of
Let's just put it
course.
that way,
Yeah.
like, for whoever out there, whatever energy out there made the Milky Way and the galaxies that is abundant,
Mm,
right?
mm.
Then made little old me. Like,
Exactly.
that's how powerful we are, and that's how much, again, we're so corroded by ego
Mm,
that we forget, first of all, we are this small in a
yes.
galaxy this big,
Yes. Yes.
and it's, we matter, of course we matter, but
Mm,
how can you not love one another and actually understand that we all come from the same source,
yeah. And
just
actually,
different.
we are exactly. And what's at stake if we don't do that? I think we're seeing that with what's going on all over the world. I mean, I don't think
Hmm.
coronavirus was just a random thing that happened. I think it's a reflection of our conscious state right now. It's what's happening in the world. There's just too much ego. There's just not enough connection on a spiritual level. But that starts with each and every one of us. We have to do the work to look at ourselves. What am
Yeah,
I bringing to the party here? And what can I do to sort myself out and vibrate at a higher level? I think life starts
exactly.
to change when we do that. And then your mind becomes open and you realize that actually people are beautiful. And,
Of
when I
course.
saw your cover, and obviously when I see all your shoots, I think she looks beautiful. I'm not
Thank
looking
you.
at you're welcome. I'm not looking at the beard. I'm not looking at even what you're wearing. I haven't asked me what you're wearing. I have no idea. Something flowery, I think, but I wasn't paying attention to it. I just noticed, and this is what people need to get. When you do that inner work, when you're able to love as you have learned to do through the adversity, through the stone throwing, and through the challenges that you still get today, like literally
Yeah,
half an hour ago, you shine in a way. And my mum always says this: the sun will always shine, even though the
of
clouds
course.
might come and cover the sun.
Yeah.
And that's grafting, that's hard work. And I think people need to realize that it's not just about getting on the cover, it's about
No.
actually
Oh no.
exploring
No,
what
of course
the
not.
truth is for you.
Like, the cover was just a part of my journey. I was so grateful, and like, they hit me up and
Yeah.
they said, we want you on the cover. I was like, do you mean the front cover? Like,
Yeah.
let's get this right for a second, or do you
Yeah.
just want me inside? I mean, regardless if it was just in the
Yeah.
magazine or like, the cover was amazing, but still, I'm still grateful, because again, we talk about representation, we talk about lack of representation. We speak about how it's important
Mm,
to feel that there is a space in this world for us,
mm,
and
mm,
I just find it sometimes that is disheartening when you know people are saying you're glamorizing the condition that you have,
mm,
or like, first of all, I'm on medication every single day. Like, it upsets my stomach. Like, I'm sick sometimes. I vomit sometimes. Like,
mm,
like, this is real. I'm not glamorizing it. I'm openly talking about it.
mm,
So people, first of all, that there's awareness. I remember this girl actually from my school.
mm,
Um, messaged me like years on. I think it
mm,
must have been a couple of years ago, going, "Sorry, I bullied you. I didn't know you had a
mm.
medical condition."
Okay.
You know, so
Mm,
it's like. people need to know that this is a condition that affects like 1 in 5
Mm,
people with ovaries, even trans men, and it's something that is, it's not rare. People are
mm.
struggling with it. I'm going to use my platform to talk about it, and I'm also going to represent, people that are different,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
whatever opportunity I get, I'm gonna bloody
It,
take it,
yeah, and,
you know.
and you have two choices, Harnaam. We all do. Either we suffer with the cards
Yeah,
that we're dealt with and we decide, you know what, this is awful and it's hard and I'm not going to celebrate it and I'm just going to relish, and it is relishing in how bad it is. Or you take it and you flip it on its head, which doesn't
yeah,
actually make the pain any easier for you. You're still struggling. You still feel sick. You still physically don't feel well. However, you flipped it on its head and
yeah,
you're embracing it in a different way. And I think, to be called out on that as well is like, it's heartbreaking to hear that,
yeah,
because that's admirable that you're able
yeah.
to do that. And it should be inspiring others, you know?
I don't know. I guess like, I'm very sort of grateful for the opportunities I get. It's very humbling, for because I keep saying like little old me,
Yeah,
like when I saw that cover, I didn't even like I knew it was going to be published, but I
yeah.
didn't know it was yesterday. I only saw it when like people that followed me sort of started tagging me in it.
Okay, really?
I'm outside sorting
Yeah,
my dog out. Like, this is how people think my life is glamorous. I'm outside sorting my dog out in the rain. My hair's all in disarray,
yeah.
right? I haven't even showered or brushed my teeth. And I'm like, yo, they've published my front cover. Like, that's how simple my life
Yeah.
is,
And you know what? You're
But I'm
just a
trying,
human being. Yeah, and I think people
I'm
need
just
to
a
see
human
that. You're not
being.
sat on a throne with people fanning you, you know.
No, like my purple wall, for heaven's sakes, with
And
my fan on.
and I think, haven't we realized yet, and as you said earlier, with all the suicides that are going on, haven't we realized yet that people have hearts, they have feelings, they have emotions, and actually, words carry a vibration. And I keep talking about vibrations, don't know why, because I feel your vibration, you're vibrating at
Yeah,
such a high level, and I think it's jarring for people, but that's no
yeah,
excuse to break it down. And I think when people are not aligned to that, they do. And it's hard, it's really hard, because people should really contemplate their words. And there's an element, a branch in psychology called non-violent communication. It sounds really drastic, but
yeah,
words do have a vibration,
100%.
and of course you're going to be impacted by it, but good for you that you're going to take a stance on the whole answering and sharing whatever you want to share.
Yeah,
And why should you not? You have the
exactly.
platform and you should.
But then there's also the other side to it as well. Like, why do I need to educate you to be nice? You
Mm,
know,
yeah, it's
why do
not
I
your
need to?
responsibility.
Exactly. Why is it that you just
Mm,
can't be human? Why is it my responsibility to teach you? But then
mm,
I'm like, this is a battle that I have. First of all, why do I need to educate you? Then
mm,
I'm like, yeah, but Harnaam, someone has to, you
mm,
know? Yeah, but
mm.
it's really not my duty. Yeah, but this is the path that you're on. Girl, the amount of times I've argued with myself in my head,
Yeah, I can hear it. I can see it.
it's trust me, it's real,
Mm,
it's real tough work. And I just don't, I just think people see this, these
mm,
glamorous pictures,
yeah.
you know, the amount of messages I get from young, women,
Mm,
oh, I wish I had your lifestyle.
mm,
Like, I smell of dog half the time
yeah.
because Kai is just a little mess, he's a little
Yeah.
pup guy,
Yeah.
like, I've been bitten so many times. Not just that, like,
Mm,
that's just my home life, but my
mm.
work life as well. Like, it's
Of
hard
course it's
because
hard.
you take on other people's issues and you want to help them,
Mm,
and because you've got a heart, your heart just
mm,
goes out for them. Not
yes.
just, I'm still struggling with all the stuff that I've
Mm,
gone through,
of course.
that Cosmo put up a quote that I said in my interview, I'm suicidal 80% of the year and 20% of the year I'm just coping. And it's
Mm,
true. Like, people don't understand the impact that they have. But do you know
mm,
what the most greatest thing is, Mamta?
mm,
Oh, I went in yesterday. I was talking to my friend. I went in. I
mm,
said, however I pass, yeah, However I pass, however my soul goes on,
mm,
people are not going to be able to tarnish my work.
no.
It's like, people keep saying, "Oh, you're like Frida." I'm not like Frida. I'm
Mm,
Harnaam Kaur. I'm
yeah,
my
yeah,
own.
yes,
I'm my own thing. So
yes,
when I pass, right, all these people that are coming for me, all these people that want me dead, all these people
mm,
are hating,
mm,
well, you can finish me off. I dare you to put a bullet through my head, but you won't be
yeah,
able to delete my images.
this
You
is the
can't
thing,
delete my work. You can't do that. Because
yeah,
right now, girl, I know my worth. I'm a living fucking legend.
you
I
are.
know my worth. And I
You are
don't say
leaving
that
a
out of
legacy. Yeah, you are leaving a
ego.
legacy, and it's inspiring and it's powerful. And I think your job isn't really to teach people to be nice, because you're on your own path and your own journey. And I think your approach is beautiful in that if you can give love and support to those that need it from you, you do. And I know, and I felt it in your
Yeah.
hug when you hugged me. I had the bump in the way, you know, and
Yeah,
you're
your
very,
mum got a hug too.
yeah, you're very real, you're very human. Our job isn't to change people. Our job is to keep doing the work we were sent to do,
Yeah.
and that's all you can do. And I think sometimes people will wake up, sometimes they
Yep.
won't. But your legacy is absolutely unbreakable. You know
Thank
what I
you. Yeah.
saw. I still can't like just get the words really. When I saw, I was like, boom, like yes, this is brilliant,
Yeah.
because it's not like, okay, her mom's made it now. No, 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 because you made it a long time ago, darling. It is like, okay, other doors are opening now. This is going to be
Yeah.
interesting. It's a conversation. And I love the fact that I think it was like a mental health issue or well-being issue or something like that. And I was like, I can't wait to see the day, and I know it will come soon, when there's nothing like that. It's just the issue. Like it's just a
Yeah.
regular issue.
I was at a self-love issue or
Yeah, 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 yeah,
something.
yeah. And I get it. I get it. Because, even the industry, not that I know much about it, but the industry is also having to evolve from a place where beauty was aesthetically something else. And I remember being on a BBC Asian network debate, I think a couple of years ago, and I messaged you because we were talking about, definitions of beauty. And I remember clearly saying, and I'd only met you the once, I was like, Harnaam Kaur is the future of beauty, because you're
Wow.
creating your
That's really
own,
powerful.
you're creating your own way. And that is beautiful when you can actually work with what you have, whether you love it or not, and be proud of
Yep.
it. And I think that in itself is such an inspiration. And if the haters are going to hate, that's the journey that they're on.
Exactly. And
Mentally,
it's just a part of, I try and see it that way as well. It's just a part of what I have to deal with.
yeah,
And again, when it comes to beauty, like it's subjective, like people, the beauty comes in so many
mm,
different shapes,
mm,
forms and sizes. And what we don't understand we mock, what we don't understand we ridicule, to
yeah,
make ourselves feel better. Trust me, I do have a mouth on me, so I do
mm,
like give it back as well, because people need to know that I don't just take it, I give
yeah,
it back.
yeah,
But I just feel like, I people ask me all the time, like, how do you do it? I'm like, I keep carrying on because I know there are so many people struggling, you
mm,
know and if I can do something to help them in some way, shape or form, oh my god, I'm going to do it,
yeah,
you know and the reasons to why I keep, like, that Cosmo cover wasn't even for me. I didn't even celebrate it. I was outside playing with my dog for the whole
yeah,
day. I didn't even celebrate because I thought, do you know what, that's just another thing that I had to do to
yeah,
show you guys that you live your truth, just be
mm,
yourself and
mm,
wholeheartedly accept yourself, and you can achieve everything that you
whatever
want
you want,
to,
whatever you
whatever
want, this
you
is
want
it.
to. And
And,
so the next big thing I'll
mm,
do, I'm gonna do it, and I'm not gonna celebrate it because it's
mm,
just part of my journey, and
yes,
it's to show you that it can be achieved. So all
totally.
these little things, like I remember when I got my glamour cover. It was a glamour magazine cover, and there was a few influencers, and we each had our own cover. Like, it wasn't a
Mm,
group shoot, we each had our own.
mm-hmm.
And I remember, other people celebrating it. She's beautiful. One woman, she had her partner brought out a cake with
Yeah,
her cover on it and things like that.
wow.
I'm I'm at home sipping my tea.
Yeah,
I'm not even celebrating. You know, part of me wishes that, you know, I could, but I'm like, Harnaam, it's not about that anymore. You know, it's about, you know, showing people that there is power within you. You know, I'm not going to
Yeah,
celebrate little milestones. I mean, they're great
exactly.
achievements.
Yeah.
They're great achievements, but if I start celebrating, that's ego, and then that's me, myself, and I, and
Yeah.
I'm not about to do that. You
You know,
know?
Hanam, what I love about you and what keeps coming to my mind is you're not celebrating it, but neither are you apologizing for it. And I love
Oh
that.
no!
I love that. And I think this is what, for the insecure people out there, I think this is what might get them, because when you have been on a journey and have built your self-worth and self-esteem and confidence, you are a bit like, oh God, do I deserve this? You know, like you will contemplate,
Oh
it's
yeah.
natural. But you are so strong about this without ego, and that in itself is like a beautiful lesson to extract. It's a beautiful quality to celebrate. And you're also not apologetic. And I think for all the people watching this, seek inspiration from that. Stop apologizing when things go right.
Yeah.
Be grateful. Don't let it go to your
Yeah.
head. Like, you know, if unless you want it, and even if you want to, it's okay. But don't let that deter you from doing the next big thing or a great thing for
Of
yourself.
course.
Also, don't apologize for it, because this is just a stepping stone. So, what is next, Hernam? Where are we?
Oh,
Billboard? You've already done Billboard, right?
have I done a billboard? I've done like a digital billboard. I've done like a digital billboard. I don't know. I want to carry on touring. I want to keep traveling. I want to meet a lot of people, you know, different cultures
Yeah.
and, you know, whatever. Like I just want to experience people in different lives. There's so much in the pipeline right now.
Mm,
Because of Corona, we had to like reschedule
of
things and
course.
whatnot. So
Yes.
I hope I can get back out to the States because
Mm,
I loved working out there
did
and
you?
I've met so many like amazing people.
Mm,
Um, but also I just, you know, coming back to what you were saying about apologizing, like how many times have you heard a woman say, you know, be complimented, and then the woman says, oh, you know, this dress, oh, it's an old thing, I
I
just picked
know.
it up. Like
Yeah.
it's like we're so programmed
Yes.
to not take on compliments that we downplay it when people do
Yes.
compliment us.
I
You
know.
know, like as a world, as a
Mm,
society, we are so used to negativity that
mm.
it's shocking to us when someone says something nice.
I know.
You
I know.
know?
It is. It is. And I think, you know, we need to do work on ourselves as women to be okay with a compliment and to feel good. And I think as a
Yeah,
society and maybe as a community, and I'm generalizing hugely here, and I'm just maybe basing on my own, well, I'm basing on my own experiences, you will downplay yourself because, you know, looks will fade and you shouldn't celebrate your achievements and be quiet, be humble, etc. So I think we're conditioned to not relish.
yeah,
But relishing doesn't mean being egotistical. It doesn't mean being a show off. It means being
yeah,
and
of
that's
course.
confidence. And we definitely need to work on that because it's impacting how much we get paid. It's
Mhm.
impacting how much recognition we get, whether we're promoted or not. There are so many areas it spills over into. So
Yeah.
I'm super looking forward to the next thing now. No pressure. Um, when are you writing your book? Do you have a book planned or
No, I
prose?
used to.
Yeah.
I used to. I used to like years ago, and
Mm,
then that just stopped because so many other things regarding work just jumped out at me, and then you know I took those opportunities and then I started traveling a lot more.
yes.
You know, my team changed, so that was an adjustment, a brilliant
Mm,
adjustment.
mm,
So I don't know if a book happens, it'll happen later on. Like
yeah.
right now I'm just so focused on, you know, reaching people, being a spokesperson, doing different campaigns. I
Yeah.
definitely want to do more shoots. I kept telling my team
Mm,
that, you know, the makeup artist Nadia that done my makeup
mm,
and my manager Liz, you know, I kept saying to them like, look, there's never going to be a need for a bearded lady. Let's just be honest.
mm,
Like Hollywood's never going to need a bearded lady. If they do, it will be for, you know, like the Greatest Showman had the setting
mm,
of the circus
mm,
and things like that.
mm,
They would always plaster, you know,
mm,
a fake beard on another woman. You know, they're
mm,
never going to need me. So I'm now that this is my goal and this is what I aspire
mm,
to do.
mm.
Is like or whatever, I am not going to be looking for other companies to take me on. No, I'm going to start creating it for myself, because there's no one out there that's going to be like, oh, we need a bearded lady for this campaign. Gosh, no, I'm going to start my own campaigns.
Amazing.
Like, that's where I'm now, and I'm going to bring on other people as well that maybe this mainstream media might not take on. Like, where are all our disabled models? Where are our like dark skin models? Where are our hijab? Where are our other turbaned models and things like that? Like, where are they? Or
there's no platform, very little platform.
That are amputees and things like that. That's what I want to do. And that's exactly what I had to do in regards to my job as well. Like, when I came out into the media or whatever, I had to create a job for myself, because this mainstream world would not give me a job. The amount of interviews I went on, the amount of discrimination I faced, workplace bullying and things like that. So I thought, I'm going to create work for myself, and I'm going to carry on doing that. And I just think, it's so important too. People keep talking about building walls, or I'm going to build a longer table and have a tribe with me. That's what I'm going to do.
That's awesome. You are creating a culture. You are making waves. You are one to watch. And for anyone that's not watching you, it is their loss, really, because you offer so much, Harnaam. You're a gift to our generation. And I've got 3 daughters, and I showed them your pictures very often. And I showed them your front cover. And I said, look, mummy's friend. And they know you. They know you because I've spoken about you a lot. They are so proud. They're just so proud.
That's beautiful.
So you are inspiring the future generation. I think we may be not as spiritually awakened, forget spirituality, or awakened as we need to be. Don't let that stop you from doing your thing, because you need to do it. You have a job to do, darling. So, thank you so much for talking to me, Harnaam. I could just speak to you all night. So, Harnaam, thank you so much for your time. I've loved speaking to you. You're very welcome.